Just seems like we're in this triangle right now. And if you're looking at a 30-minute chart, you can see it. You know, this has been protected. We'd said, you know, good possibility that the half gap, which I've got at the 48.75, 49 area, is supportive. That's worked well for the upside push. We still have not been able to break out at 56 for now. That's the retest we had talked about earlier today. Coming back, we should get a retest of this breakdown right here. First things first. Here's your first, and then the second one up here. So we know that's a pretty good push from here. Seems to be still protected. And we're going to use this zone as our resistance zone still. We're trying to get backwards. And we said, don't be stubborn. You know, that keep reading the patterns, that more than likely it would be harder than everybody thought, because after yesterday, the assumption was a lot of traders would now think super bearish. And we think law of alternation says, okay, we should be bouncing a little bit then. And if you're looking at the 15, that's very clear what's going on here. Above the line trading, above the pink line. Here's your 15, here's your 30. Still supportive. So this is part of today's problem for the RTH traders. 120 chart, still looking supportive. Change this to a 60. Still looking supportive. Change it back to a 5. We see the 5 is working great. So it's very difficult for the shorts to create a posture right now of we're going to take you out until they take out this low. Got to come down here and start to put the pressure. Obviously, first things first. Got to break the IB low and then take out the next lows. So I'm not a super bear at this point in time, but I'm certainly not a super bull either. I think today we need to be neutral, and we need to think that the market is still leaning on the shorts. What are you going to do? You know, we've had the keyboard pattern, white, black, white, black, white, black. Today, day's not over yet. Doesn't mean it has to finish here. We're inside yesterday's range, resolving it. Clearly, the red line's held, and now we've got to get back below the green line. And that, right now, quite frankly, has not been done yet. A and D, pretty strange. So we've got a little flip. We'd said 56.25 should be first resistance. Use the backup at 58. And still have not made a lot of progress short side. So the gap is available, high odds trade, still not done. And I think we need more time before we get there, if we get there today. You know, this is what the market's been doing, trapping traders and squeezing them to advance. And at this level where we think, you know, shorts really can undo the longs big time if they get back and start to put the pressure on the daily chart. You know, but you've got to come back and start to take them out one by one here and obviously undermine this low right here. Okay, that's your 29.5. Still support till broken. So nothing has really changed. And the market right now is fighting to hold on to squeezed traders. Still have the same base idea that we have had. And so far, the shorts have put a really nice move on the long side, and what I felt would be hard to reach yesterday was done in one day, so I think we stole some range. And I think that because the range was stolen yesterday, it makes it harder today, you know, to get back here. Everybody's still looking down here when in fact, you know, we should be measuring this move here. It is a pretty substantial bounce from here. And again, done in late day and overnight in the squeeze. This is the pattern the boys have been using. So at this level, you can see just how this is not very smooth. This is pretty raggedy here. This is not a normal pattern. So I believe this is being protected right now still, and the boys are still trying to get that higher high. So with that said, we know that according to market structure, we're near all-time highs, and the only way the market seems to want to do that is to grab people and squeeze them right now. So don't overthink it. You know, this neutral territory, and the market's trying to determine, well, what's next? Do I want to do a double here and try, or do I want to do a double here and come back? So neutral posture. And as far as I'm concerned, half gap trade is a viable trade alternative still, but the bears need to come through and knock out the IB low, and then make some new progress. The low was made this morning about 10:50 at the 50.25 mark, and it's still hanging on. So we had one spike below the IB, and then we've been inside the IB ever since. So this is not a bearish pattern till we start to come down under the rain line and keep coming this way. This is definitely not a bearish pattern. You need to crossover trade. You need some kind of a bow tie. So I'm keeping that in perspective, that this is the posture until we rotate on a 30-minute chart and get underneath this line and come down and do some testing back here. It's neutral. Resistance up here. Big support obviously back in here. Yesterday's 41.25 is held. And we need some good fortune this afternoon for the short side to at least get back here and mag this back here, right? We're going to mag it 48.75, 49. And so far, that's been protected. That's been our assumption, was that was being protected to help squeeze and trap some traders. Our progress has been made towards it, but not much. And every time you get down closer to it, you can see 52s, and in here under the 52s, we've been getting some bounces, just tails on the 30. So it hasn't stayed here long, and that was our premise today. Don't overstay the short side. Could be they're going to trap and squeeze. And same thing on the long side. Up here at that first break where a lot of traders were looking to retest 54s. We have not had a lot of action above that. So the core that I'm seeing right now of the range that we need to bust out of is right in here. This is really where the market is trying to make a decision. Because that, for RTH, has been the sum and substance of most of our activity. So, you can't be afraid to short in this kind of a market, but you also have to understand that, the boys are trying to push and keep it away. So take stop outs if you're shorting, and if you're of the mindset to be buying, the best buys were obviously earlier today when they were coming up off of the pink line and off of the blue line, and when traders were shorting, come into the gap and half gap and actually got squeezed. So I think the best trades for the long side are already done, and obviously for the short side as well in terms of first resistance zone. I'm not going to overthink this. We said we had a great day yesterday, and today we want to be a lot more conservative. TF not too bad. Tranny's not too bad. And dollar, look at the dollar. I mean, come on. You can set your watch to this right now. XLF hit support, bounced. NQ hit support, bounces. A little bit deeper chart. Crude oil still rocking and rolling. Google trying to figure things out, just sideways right now. So I would have to say, you know, and if you're looking at a 120 chart here, come on. You know, we've had the push and the stall, and we're gently pulling back in, but we keep pulling back into, you know, theoretical support. Makes it very hard for the short side, because the deeper look, the bigger players, they're not looking at a 2-minute chart. They're not looking at a 5. They're saying, okay, what levels do I want to play at? So by our rules, you know, coming into the blue line, you've got to respect it. We get a bounce and a crossover and takes 2 or 3 times, then that starts to weaken. First time back, you've got to respect it and take profits. And if you want to go back one level deeper, take a look at the 10. So I'm sticking by my guns that I think right now there's being a protected market right here, and shorts need to be careful.